my plant pots have eyes. What? Hi there, my name is Marci, and in this video I am going to show you how I made this really pretty, super cool, and nice baby planters. This is a dupe. They are inspired by Urban Outfitters. So let's get started. You're going to need some terracotta color clay. I'm using the Das brand here, and a clean jar. If you don't know how to clean your jars, I have a video on how to remove the stickers and all that, but this is basically what you do. You just roll your clay, then put your jar on top, make sure the clay will cover the entire jar, and then cut with the ruler. This is the easiest for me because it's straight, but if it doesn't go all the way down, don't worry, just use an X-Acto knife like I did here. The rest of the clay, to prevent it from drying, just put it in a wet rag, and then you just get your clay, put it on top of your jar, and whatever excess you have, cut it so that the clay is exactly the size of the jar when you roll it, and then you just need to smooth it out. So this is how I do it, but you can measure by all means. I eyeball everything. I just, go with the flow. I am a mom of 3, so I have very little time, and this is my kind of relaxed time, and I am not good at math, so I don't want to be measuring and doing all that stuff. Although I do love macrame, and I do have to measure for that, but I basically just fold rope. Anyhow, then you're just gonna fold it towards the inside, and I learned this the hard way because the first planter I did wasn't completely covered on the inside, and I had to add later. But so to prevent that, you're just gonna take some parts out with your X-Acto knife, cut it to the length. So I'm gonna put water plants in here with rocks, so you can barely see this part, but it is gonna be visible with the rocks, so you might as well make it pretty. Anyhow, after you finish doing all your little clay, again, put it in a wet rag so it doesn't dry out. And you're gonna get a little bit of water and a sponge. I'm just using a little sponge that I had around my house for my craft supplies. I don't keep many craft supplies around, but I do keep a sponge and many brushes and a toothbrush, and I replace them as I go because I don't want to have my house all full of craft supplies. But I do use my craft supplies for relaxing and crafting and DIYing. It's what makes me happy, besides my family and all that, and the beach obviously because I'm a beach girl. But this is really easy to do if you have just a regular sponge. You can even use the sponge you have for your dishes. It's just gonna get messy, so a little sponge like this will do. This is from the dollar spot, I guess. So just kind of smooth it out with the sponge and with the water as best as you can. You can always sand it later if you're too much of a perfectionist, but again, this is my time to relax, and I don't want to be spending and making everything perfect, because nothing is perfect. The more imperfect it is, the cuter it looks to me, because it looks handmade, and those are the best gifts you can give people. So Christmas is coming up, hint hint. This is a great gift for a plant lover. These are very affordable. They're just recycling, and the clay, it's $2 something. I'm gonna link them down below. The clay that I use, the Das clay, and the materials I use, but basically it's just recycled jars and clay. You can find any type of clay you like. I really like the Das brand, but anyhow, just sponge it till you feel happy, and then you're gonna wait for that to dry. And while that dries, you're gonna get 2 little pieces of white clay. If you do not have white clay, then just use the terracotta one and then paint it white once it's dry. But what you basically do is make 2 little eye shapes. You can make it round or more like an oval shape. Just make sure they pop out a little bit. If you don't want to do this, you can use googly eyes. It doesn't really matter, but I think everything made out of clay looks a little bit better. And this is my vibe. So once it's a little bit more dry, it doesn't have to be completely dry, but like stiffer in touch, then you're gonna like scratch it a little bit. See, you're gonna put it down, then scratch it a little bit with a needle, with a X-Acto knife, whatever you have, because this is gonna make the clay stick better, and then you're gonna wet it. And you have to do this to both pieces, and that's gonna make it stick better. Again, just scratch it a little bit like I'm doing here, and then wet it, and then you just put it there, or you can wet it and then scratch it, whatever. But as long as it's wet and scratched, you're good to go, because it will stick better to your clay. It will kind of like reactivate that little piece. And I dropped the eye. It doesn't matter, just pick it up. It's gonna look good. Just press slightly, make them the shape you want a little bit, you know, make it however you think it looks best, and then just let it dry. I have another one that it's already dry, so I'm going to show you what to do with the eyes. This one is a little bit smaller, but you can see that on the top part right there, boom, I missed a little bit of clay. Not to worry, I put some clay afterwards and it looks good. I mean, it's a little different in like color, but it looks good. So not to worry if you make mistakes. I make them too, everybody does, so just make the best out of it. Then just with a Sharpie or any marker that is waterproofed, kinda, it can smear. Just draw the little eyeballs, like the little, yeah, you know what I mean. Make them point whatever you want, looking up, looking down, staring at you, whatever you like. And then what I did here is I tried one sealer for the little one and a spray sealer for the big one. So this art medium, I am going to paint over the entire thing. Yes, I'm adding the clay later and you're not gonna get to see that, but it's just adding a little bit of clay in that part that's missing. No big deal. But I just brushed these medium on top of my little clay project when it was completely dry. And for the other one, I sprayed it with an acrylic varnish. That one is glossy and it's non-yellowing. At least it hasn't yellowed for me for the projects I've used them for. This is it. So they do turn out to be a little different color, but I like that and I wanted you to see that. So there you go. Left is acrylic spray and the right is the varnish. This is how they turned out. So get your jars, watch my video on how to clean them and get the goo out of them, and make these little cute planters. Perfect gift idea and on the cheap, affordable side. Hope you have an amazing day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye!